Now that we have the Create Book view up and running, let's work on the post functionality. So let me switch back here and we'll go to the book controller. We'll uncomment the post action method. Let me stop the application, uncomment this, and we'll change this from author to book view model. The model state dot is valid, you can keep it, but if we get some errors there, we'll have to resolve them. So I'll just eliminate those for now. Here we need to check the ID. So that is inside book dot, we have book underscore ID. If that ID is 0, this means we have to create. So we'll create that in the books and we will be adding obj.book. Else this will be an update. So I can just copy this, paste it here for update. And then we'll save the changes and redirect to the index action. We do not need this. So perfect, this is looking good for our upsert post. That being said, let's also make the delete. So we'll uncomment this as well. We will be retrieving the book based on the ID and we'll check the book ID here. We'll remove the book and perfect. With this in place, let's run our application and see if we can create a new book. So we'll go to the book here and let's try to create one. We'll select a publisher here, Spark, so that the name matches there. As soon as we hit the create button, we will run into an error message, but let me show you what that is. So we hit an error on the save changes. If you see the inner exception, it says the insert statement conflicted with the foreign key constraint book detail ID. This is because book detail is a required property. Right now we are only creating book and we are not creating book detail ID. We will be creating the details later on. So this field we have to make sure that even if it's nullable, it still does not give an error message. How do we do that? We will have to go to the book object. So let me go to the view model here. In there we have the book object. In here we have the book detail ID. All we have to do is we have to make this ID a nullable field. Now once you make this change, you will have to add a migration. So tools, NuGet package manager, console. We have make book detail nullable in book table. When you do that, it needs to drop its existing foreign key and index, alter the column, create the index and foreign key back again. With that in place, we'll have to update the database and that will resolve our issue. Now these are small issues that you face with EF Core, but I want to point them to you so that if you encounter such errors, you know how to fix them. That being said, let's create the book one more time. And we'll create new. We'll select the Spark publisher and hit create button. Perfect, our book has been created and we are only displaying title. Here we have the edit, details, delete and authors. Inside details, we will be creating the book details in the upcoming videos. Right now, if you want to edit this, you can go ahead, come here, update, and this will be edited as you can see. So with this, everything is working as expected. Now before we switch back, I want to show you one last thing. Let's go back to our application, close this. Inside the upsert get action method, let me add a debugger here. Let's go back and let me hit the create new. This time, let me open up the output window and clear the logs for the web server. And while we are here, let me press F10. So we'll go to the next statement. This query got executed in which we are doing projection. Let's take a look at what query actually got executed. So that we have to do F5 here and then we'll go back to the output window and the query is right here. You can see what is being done here is it says give me the name, and it also says convert the publisher ID to varchar and give it to me as a value. You can see how smartly it is identifying that I need the ID as a string, and it projects it and it returns the exact result that we need to assign to our select dropdown. So projections make sure that you do not retrieve a complete object or all of the columns of publisher. It only fetches you the records that you need. And that's why it is super important in increasing the efficiency at certain times. So we have been working with views, models and controllers, but do not forget at the heart we want to learn the query, the execution and entity framework core. That being said, with this, we can successfully create a new book, edit a book, and if you want to try delete, that will also work since we already wrote the code for that. Let's give that a try here. Create one and let's delete this one. Great, you can see it got deleted. In the output, you will also see the query for delete. So with this, we can see everything is working as expected and EF Core is converting everything to the queries and executing them to our database extremely well. Let's continue working on EF Core and learn something new in the next video.